Okay. All right. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight. And I've got a lot of information to share with you, but I'm going to try to get through it real quick and make it really, really fun and exciting because, it's that time of year. We all have very limited time, and we're going to get right to it. And hopefully, you guys will have some good takeaways, good nuggets. I know that this time of year, we are all very focused on maybe not our business so much. But that's exactly why we're going to do this training tonight. And I'm going to share with you just some things on how to have your best month ever. Now, whether that's this month, as you're finishing out, we have 10 days left in the month. 10 days, isn't that crazy? Or maybe it's just getting you in the right mindset to start January and just really kick off the new year and the new month in a new way. So whether, whichever one of those is you, there's something that you definitely can take away tonight. So I'm going to share my screen and get started here. And give me just a quick second. Okay, hopefully, can you guys see that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so like I said, some of you might just be saying, I'm gonna think about my business after Christmas. I'm gonna think about my business after the new year, and that's fine. That's okay. But we do still have 10 days left, and we do have some amazing opportunity to talk to people about health, about this amazing business opportunity. And most of all, we have our Add More Good campaign that's still going on. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But just remember that wherever you are with your business right now, you can still take action steps to move your business into having the best month ever, or getting that momentum started so that January is your best month ever. So we're going to talk about how to maximize your month. And I'm going to talk about these 12 things. I know this is a lot. You don't have to write these down. I'm going to go through each one. But each month, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can ask yourself at the beginning of the month so that you can start that month well. We're going to talk about setting your goals for the month, how to plan your week, which will then help you plan that daily activity. We're going to talk about resources and tools that you can use. And then also knowing who you're going to talk to, who are you going to connect with, how to use your support team, how to allow accountability, which is kind of an interesting thing to think about because we actually do need to allow that to happen. We're going to talk about communication and how you can stay connected and plugged in, utilizing urgency. That's my favorite category we're going to talk about. And then how to finish strong. So let's dive right in to the very first one. And these are 3 questions that you can ask yourself at the beginning of each month. Now, some of you might do this just as a personal reflection, but it's also good to do in a coaching call with your upline sponsor and, kind of have them ask you these questions because sometimes we don't know the answers to this. Especially if you're new, you might not know what's going well or what went wrong or what you need to do different. So when I say what went well last month, you want to think about what did you achieve in your business month? What activities did you do that were maybe went well, maybe were productive activities, maybe those were really good events that you and your team did. Thinking about those things. Maybe there was something that you just did that was just a first attempt or a bold attempt at trying something new. Those are things you want to celebrate. There's lots of things that are new out there to do, especially with social media. And sometimes we have to just try those things out and celebrate when we do hard things. So obviously the things that you do well, things that went well last month are the things that you're going to keep doing, right? And then the second question is what went wrong, or maybe I don't necessarily like to use the word wrong, but maybe what didn't go as well. Those might have been some challenges or obstacles that just happened that you were just not able to overcome. They could have been time wasters that you allowed to kind of creep in and, cause procrastination in your month. Or maybe there were some events or things that you did that just were not productive. So obviously those are the things that you want to look at to stop doing for the next month. And then that third question, what do I need to do different, is really based on the answers from the first two questions. So this really provides you like an amazing assessment to help you gather all the good things that happened in your month, and then get rid of the things that were maybe unproductive. So it kind of gives you like a fresh start to each month. So let's talk about how to start well. One of the things that I know has definitely happened to me is see the picture in the calendar, how it's circled on the 12th. Well, sometimes, especially this could happen in January, that maybe your month doesn't really start at the beginning of the month. By the time you let, Christmas and New Year's kind of settle, and then all of a sudden, oh, we got to schedule that coaching call. And then, oh, I have to plan some things. And the next thing you know, it's like the 10th or the 12th of the month, and you're just starting your month. So to start well, we need to start at the beginning of the month so that you can actually have the whole month. Sometimes it helps to plan events and things with your team the month before or the end of the month, so that you can really have that full month to, to get all of the things done and reach your goals that you have set for the month. So starting well means starting at the beginning of the month. And then setting your goals. So I love this image because it talks about how you can really set SMART goals. A lot of us have goals for different things, and you might have goals for your business month. You might have goals for your just your personal health. Lots and lots of different areas. You might set goals for your month. You might not ever have set goals for your business each month. A lot of us that have been doing this for a while, we kind of have that like 5-1 goal of 5 new customers, 1 new team member every month, but that might not be where you're at. You might have a different goal. Some things like saying that you're going to have 5 new customers in the month is not necessarily measurable, because you can't really say I'm going to have 5 new customers and plan to reach out to 5 people. So maybe you need to talk with your sponsor about, if you need or want to get 5 customers, how many people does that look like that you need to have conversations with? Because that's what you can control, is you can measure and you can control the amount of conversations that you have with people, and you can control the amount of people that you're sharing resources with and asking them if they're ready to get started. We can't always measure when people are going to be ready to get started. So hopefully that makes sense. And then if you find yourself that you just don't really know what goals to set, try to just talk with your sponsor again about setting small goals. So goals can be big or small depending on where your belief, where your mindset is. But sometimes if we're stuck and we just think like, there's this big goal that we have, maybe it's a paycheck amount, or maybe it's the next level, but we really don't know the steps to get there. So that's where your sponsor, your upline can help you to break that down into like smaller, achievable goals. Because when you're like resetting that goal month after month, you start to really lose that belief in yourself, and you need to get some baby goals, some little things that you can kind of check off the list, so that you can start to really believe in yourself again, and really believe in the business, and just how this all works, just this whole rhythm of things. And that's just going to make you feel more accomplished as you do that. So it's kind of like thinking of having targets on the way to that bigger goal. So again, just talk, that's something that you can definitely talk with your sponsor about. What are some goals that you can set for yourself? So once you've got those goals set, then you need to think about planning your week. So you've already planned your month. We've set the goals. Now you're looking at, what does my week look like? Obviously, this is going to change throughout the month. But looking at this on Sunday night, Monday morning, really looking at, I know years ago, I didn't do this full time, and I had to look at what my week looked like, what days I could have my Juice Plus time, or what, time of day that was going to be. And I had to really plan that out because I was doing a lot of other different things. And so if you plan your week, those days that you're going to focus on what. Also, you can look ahead and say, we've got this event coming up, we've got this call coming up. And so you know what to build for, and you know what you're going to be inviting to that week. So your month's planned, your week's planned. Let's talk about daily activities. Now, a lot of times people call this the DMO, the daily method of operation. And that really looks different for different people because everybody's business is in a different place. So your daily method of operation might look different than someone else's. Now, we do have kind of like a system around that we suggest for people, but also talking with your upline just about what that can look like for you, because sometimes you don't have a block of time. You have to do like little bits of time here and there. So what are some little things you can do throughout the day to help you do that? One of the things that helps me so much is this 3 big rocks. So John Maxwell talks about, if you have a jar and you put in 3 big rocks in that jar and fill up the rest of the jar with the little rocks, you can fit it all in. So if you think about your day that way, and you think about, what are the 3 things in my business that I want to get done today, every day, doing those 3 big things first, and then you can fill in with the little things in those little stolen moments. That helps me so much, because if I do these are my 3 big rocks. So I wanted to give you guys an example of that. But if I started my day and did all the other little things, checked Voxer, checked Facebook, got into my email box and cleaned that out, all of those little things, and I didn't get to the 3 big rocks, then I'm not moving my business forward. And so my 3 big rocks are new conversations with people. Now, sometimes that's starting new conversations, and sometimes it's responding to conversations I started previously, but it's new conversations with new people. Inviting to the next event is we always have events to invite to. So I'm always reaching out to people to invite to the next event, and then posting on social media to, start getting those new conversations also going from there. So those are my 3 big rocks. I try to do those 3 things first, and then I fill in all the other little things kind of throughout the day. So hopefully that helps you guys kind of key in, because sometimes it's like we can plan our month, we can plan our week, and we can plan our day, but things happen and things kind of take over in our day sometimes. So I just always say, if I can do these 3 things and get these done, then I feel like I at least move my business forward that day. Okay, so utilizing our tools, connection calls is highlighted here because that is the biggest tool that we have. I feel like it's the most important one. Connecting with people, connecting my prospects to my upline, getting on a call with my customers and somebody, getting on a call with my partners and somebody, all of those connection calls, connecting your people to your upline. Zoom events, obviously that's a big, huge thing now. The JPTV events, if you don't know what those are, our company is just honestly doing so much to help us in this digital world, in this digital space now. They are giving us events that we can just plug into. So we don't even have to create Zoom events. We can honestly just plug into what they're doing. If you go on the Juice Plus Facebook page, it'll show you all of the JPTV broadcasts, is what they're calling them. And they have speakers every month that are on there. And then the jpvf.org, that's the website you go to. The Tuesday night calls also are ready-made events that you just plug into. You guys, these are something that I should utilize way more of. They are fabulous. There's a different speaker each week. They talk about the product. Then there's a call about getting started that gives you options for getting started on the product. But then it also talks about being a family user, being a partner with the company, and getting your products at a better cost. And then it has another call about the business opportunity and the company. So there's actually 3 different calls on Tuesday nights. If you go to the website, it'll have flyers for each one. It'll tell you the upcoming speaker. It'll give you all the details there. So those happen every Tuesday night, except not this week and not next week. So after starting in January, they're going to have those again starting in January. And then I put the Add More Good here because that is a tool that the company is giving us. That is only happening to the end of the year. So we have 10 days to get the word out, which I feel like we have all been talking about that for a long time now. But you know how it is whenever you think you've told everybody, somebody hasn't heard that information. So we still have plenty of people that we can give that information to. Even if we took the next 10 days and reached out to 2 people every day and said, have I told you about the Add More Good campaign, the promotion that my company has put out? So there are people out there that could benefit. If you don't know what that is, I can answer that question at the end, or you can talk to your upline. But it's an awesome promotion that the company is giving us to tap into. So those are the tools that we have at our fingertips to utilize. And then we're going to talk about knowing who to talk to, right? So we can have all the tools, we can have all the systems, we can have our month planned, but if we don't have a list of people to talk to, then we really don't have anything to do, right? So this, when you first get started, you're really kind of asked to make a list, a memory jogger, we call it. Who comes to your memory that you can reach out to and you can share this product with. Now, a lot of times you might do that at the beginning, but not look at that list or think, oh, I've gone through all those people. And that's okay. This is the first thing I want you to put on your to-do list is to make a new list, because that list is the lifeblood of our business. And it changes. It's not a static list. It's not just 20 names. When you go through them, you're done. You add to that list all the time. When you have new conversations with people, you connect and engage with new people on social media. Maybe you meet somebody in the store. You can constantly add to that list and update that list. Sometimes my list gets too, I write notes on it and highlight and cross out and things like that. So sometimes I just have to start fresh with that, but you don't have to do that every month. Maybe every few months you do that. But you want to continually be adding to that list. So like I said, if you do not have an active list, that's the first number one thing that I want you to do after this call. Okay, so now we're going to talk about using your support team. I have mentioned sponsor. I've mentioned upline a lot already. And that's because that every one of you has a sponsor who wants to be engaged in your success. So use them. That's what we're here for. We really, really want to be of help to you. And no matter how long you've been doing this, no matter how independent you are, we still need our sponsor to bounce ideas off of, for that accountability that I mentioned. Maybe you don't know anything about this or that, and that's who you go to. That's who you should go to ask those questions too. So we are here to help. I know that a lot of times people think, oh, I don't want to bother you. No, please bother your sponsor and your upline. They really do want to hear from you. And then also the home office. The home office is just a great resource for us when we really don't know the answer to something. They really are here to help. So in this picture down here with the three hands, um, remember that third party validation of um, either your upline leader or sponsor, or even the home office. Sometimes maybe you have a business partner at the home office. That third party validation is huge. It's huge for us, and it's huge for anybody that's in this business, just to have that extra person to go to. And then allowing accountability. So I mentioned that earlier. So some of us love accountability and some of us do not love that. But that's why I said allow that. So you have to get yourself in a position where you actually allow that to happen in this business. So we are in this business. It's our own individual businesses. So we're really our own individual bosses, right? And sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes that's also a bad thing. Because if we don't allow that accountability, then we don't really have anybody who is helping us to move forward. It's really easy to just say, oh, I'll do that a different month, or I'll do that next time, or I don't really need to make that phone call. I don't really need to share that. I don't really need to host that event. So allowing that accountability just means that you're really willing to have somebody hold you accountable to those goals that you set at the beginning of the month, and hold you accountable to those activities that you said at the beginning of the month. Do you know that sometimes I have said, oh, I'll host that Facebook event, or I'll host that Zoom. And then I'm like, oh, why did I say I was going to do that? So if we allow that accountability of a team and of our upline, then we have to do what we said we were going to do. And honestly, that's going to feel better anyway, because when we back out of doing things, that doesn't feel good ever. So this accountability can look all different sorts of ways. It can be utilized through Voxer. It can be through a text, a check-in with your sponsor. Really, you need to set that. What kind of accountability do you want? So be thinking about that, because it really can look all different kinds of ways. Okay, plugging in to communication channels. So when you stay plugged in, you stay connected. And again, we're in this business, and so many of us are not seeing each other face to face. So it's even harder to stay connected. So there's all sorts of ways to stay connected, but it's also really easy to not do all of those things. And sometimes I'm not saying it's, sometimes you need to unplug, but staying connected and staying plugged in is super important to reaching those goals and to staying accountable and moving forward in your business. So email. Okay, so the company sends us emails, not a lot of them, but they are important when they do. I actually got an email last month, or maybe a couple of months ago, that said my customer's credit card information was wrong and needed to be updated. And I had never gotten that before. So that, sometimes there are important emails that come across that we need to open. And I'm saying all of this with a smile because I'm not so great at that, but I'm getting better at that. Voxer is the tool that we use as a company to really stay connected. And I know sometimes it's like, Voxer's, can be a lot. The Voxer chats can go crazy sometimes. But it is the tool that we do use to stay connected verbally. We can send a text, we can send a picture, you can send a video, all of those things. So that is our main communication tool as our team and business. Zoom, if you're not comfortable with Zoom or with Facebook, I just really challenge you to, or encourage you to get comfortable with those things, because we are utilizing Zoom so much more in our business these days. And Facebook is where you're going to build relationships with people. And that is what we're in the business of, is building relationships and helping people. Plus we have our team Facebook pages on there. We have our healthy living community customer group on there. And like I mentioned before, the Juice Plus Company Facebook page has a lot of information on there too. The Juice Plus Insights comes into that email box every week. That is really kind of a landing zone for all of the really important updates from the company. So open that up, get in the habit of opening it up, reading through it, looking at all of those things. And then finally, I have on there the phone, not necessarily to do all of the other things that I just mentioned, although we do all of those things from our phone, but using the phone as a phone, call people, have a conversation, let them hear your voice. I have been having more conversations on the phone over the past few months than I have had in years, because people just need to know that people care. And it's not just a text or a Facebook message, but you can use your voice on those things too. So utilize your voice and pick up the phone and call people when you can. Okay, urgency. So I really want you to think as the last week of the month, although I'm going to say the last 10 days because we do have, Christmas coming up here. But I want you to think of it as that confetti drop of the New Year's countdown. Okay, that's the end of your month. If you have started your month well, if you have set those goals, if you have planned your month and planned your week and you've done the daily activity, it is time to finish with some urgency. So as humans, procrastination is just really in our DNA. And I'm sure you can think of some examples of procrastination in your life. Cramming for a test, cramming for finals in college. It's just, we all work better with deadlines. And I want you to think of the end of the month as a deadline, because when we're under that urgency, that procrastination goes away. If we have goals that we want to reach and we have things that we want to achieve, then that urgency needs to drive us to action. Now, when you set your goals, you should know why you're setting those goals. And when you're looking at the end of the month, you should have some things that you know what to do. A lot of times we look at where we're at and we look at that goal and we don't see how it's going to happen. But if we know why we're doing it and we know what to do, because I've mentioned some things of what to do, reaching out to people, talking to people, connection calls, inviting to events. Those are the what's that we can do. The action, don't worry about the how. Don't worry about how it's going to happen, because the how always happens if you're doing the what. If you're doing the action, I could give you example after example of how goals have been met in my business, and I did not see how it was going to happen, but I just kept doing the next thing. I kept doing the next action. And when you do the next action and you continue to do that, things just happen and the how just happens. It's really, really an amazing thing, but you have to stay in that action. Now, if you have gotten to this place in your month, so the company does a great job of sending out a PBC report at the 20th, the 25th, and then right at the end of the month. The reason they do that is so that you can see where your business is at towards the end of the month, and your upline can see where everyone's business is at the end of the month. And when you see where you get that in your email, or you can see on your virtual office, maybe where you're at towards qualifying, or where your team is at towards qualifying, then it's kind of like a snapshot of this is where you're at now. And then you know the gap that you need to fill. You know the goals that you guys set at the beginning of the month. You see where you're at now, and you see, okay, this is what I need to get done. And then you just get into action. Now, if you have met your goals for the month, then you turn around and you help your team to achieve their goals. And that's where your leaders come in to really look at those things for you, because sometimes we can see things and we can see those goals that it holds you accountable to that, but then also see and help you stretch to reach a goal that maybe you didn't even think was possible. And that's where it gets really exciting for us, because we can utilize that urgency for you and show you how to do that and how to make it happen. So I get really excited about this because I work really well under pressure. So I could talk like about that for a whole 30 minutes, but I'm going to end with this, with finishing strong. And hopefully you guys can see this little video. But when you decide that you're going to have your best month ever, and when you decide that you're going to start something, then you have to also decide that you're going to finish that. You're going to finish strong. And really, when you do that, you are reestablishing that belief in yourself that you can do it and you can get it done. And you can have that best month ever every month. And you don't do it by yourself. You do it together. You do it together with your upline, together with your sponsor. We really are just in the best place we've ever been with this company. Our company is giving us the best tools to help us help a lot of people with their health. Health is in the forefront of so many people's minds right now. And we have the solution. We have the solution to help them build their immune systems. We also have the solution for them to earn an income from home, which is huge, huge. So I want you guys to really just think about how you can come together with your upline, with your sponsor, and finish your month strong. Even if we're only looking at the next 10 days of the month, we can do things. Most people are going to be at home this time of year. We can reach out to them. It's a great time to just send out those Merry Christmas messages, cards, things like that to people, get into conversations with people. And let's finish this month strong, and let's finish this year strong. And I will tell you, whatever you do now for the next 10 days is going to build momentum going into next year really strong. So I want that for you guys, because I don't want you to come out of your Christmas comas and be like, oh, what do I do next? So let's reach out to people. Let's tell them about the Add More Good campaign and just this amazing product and opportunity. And I'm just excited to see what you guys are going to do in the next 10 days. Let me stop my screen share here. Does anybody have any questions or anything? It looks like I only went a couple minutes over, so that's good. Let me go ahead and stop the recording.
I have to say that was so good. And one of